Hello again, everybody.
Oh, Harry! Oh, yeah, Harry!
You know, there comes a time when you probably ought to stop broadcasting. I probably should have quit about 5 years before I passed.
I think we should have quit about 20 years ago.
What am I accounting? What do I know? Somebody said something, Lenny says, I'll get it. He falls off the back of the stage, takes down a couple of the prop trees we got. Down goes Lenny. I said, boy, what was in that water? Well, it wasn't water. I love Lenny Kitson.
Get through what you got to get through, Scott. We'll come back around to it.
We only deal in truth here.
Oh, my God. What world am I living in? Scott Martin is making me laugh.
Don't you feel a little stupid?
My Chestnut model is only
12.5. extra 2,500 gets you the. Yeah.
This certainly beats the $9.99 blow-up doll I got in my closet right now.
I think that was like $19.99.
Well, you got the half price discount, didn't you? After my wedding. Was a virgin sacrifice?
Not that I recall. We couldn't find one.
And not in Kenosha anyway, right? Go over there this afternoon. Throw your worm in the water. See how that works out.
Throw your worm in the water means something different in Los Angeles.
Well, it means about the same thing here in Kenosha. Wow. Things haven't changed.
Things haven't changed.
Hell of a show. Dead people and perverts and degenerates. Kind of fits right in here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the November 4th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP, streaming worldwide and booming across the cold, rainy, and snotty cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. Joining us this morning, our Director of Cybersecurity, a former CEO of Equifax, and now the head engineer of Do Over Kenosha, Elmo Schneider's here.
Good morning, everyone.
So, Elmo, my man, what project are we doing over in Kenosha this week?
We're just starting to tear up 6th Avenue downtown again. So.
What, we were only 6 months late the last time, so we're going to redo this just to
No,
see
they got it finished. Now we got to tear it up again. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes perfect sense. Also, this morning, our video coordinator, the master of being politically incorrect, Spider Ronnie, or the wrong way camera dude, joins us to capture all the action as it happens. Spider?
Good morning, everybody.
And engineering the Kenosha State Trolley Ride, the Kenosha School District's new dress code advisor. Wacky Wayne is here. So how's that working out? You got some new...
Yeah, I'm gonna go get myself on the school board so I can repeal the dress code.
Oh, you don't. You
Yeah.
have to do if you want to do that, you can just get on this ad hoc committee.
Oh, I bet I can.
You know what your name of your ad hoc committee is going to be?
I don't.
Bradford Football Stadium. That's how they do things.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Where are my manners? We have some guests in the studio this morning. We have Ian and Evan Kirkman are here.
They are.
They are.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, boys. Hey, doesn't your mom have some big job up in Madison? She doesn't? Which one of you guys drove here this morning? Hey, I know people in Madison. You want a driver's license? I can make a call here, and we'll get you graduated all before 12 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Push it too far.
Anyway, a big welcome to our special guest, Representative Samantha Kirkman. And here's we got this from the up in Madison when you entered the chambers the other day. The guy screaming will probably bark on some of his cohorts. That's good. See? Well, there you have it.
Yeah, no. Did you want me to roar?
Well, go ahead. You can do whatever you want. Let me set up a couple of things. Once again, the Kenosha Today Secret Word Challenge is sponsored by Mike Bjorn's Clothing, located in downtown Kenosha, offering the biggest selection of men's suits in all of southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, starting at only $179, with sizes ranging from 34 short to 48 long. And for only $199, you can get sizes 50 to 60, and in both cases, it includes a shirt, tie, belt, a pair of socks, and you can find them on Facebook or call them at 262-652-0648. Last week's secret word on Halloween, or the day before Halloween, was spooky.
It's
I
true.
don't know, well, nobody got that. And,
Nope.
I tell you, this can be too intense for some of these people that listen to this,
Very cerebral.
And anyway, the Kenosha Today Brain Trust has pre-selected this morning's secret word. If you call in and you win it, you win or you say it, then you get a $25 gift certificate. And coming up after 10:30, we have the lightning round of City in Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse. Quickly after 11, we have this week's top 10 thought-provoking category, which is the top 10 things Kenoshans will do with the extra hour after changing their clocks back tonight.
Oh, yeah, time change.
Boy, Spider, nothing gets past you. And then the drama continues in the second hour when we feature the weekend update. And then, now you guys got to pay attention to this because we're going to need your help. After 11:30, our special editorial segment sponsored by the legendary Broad Stop. As the Broad turns. You want to try this one more time?
Okay.
I know. As the Broad turns. See, you don't do that up in Madison a lot, do you?
No, we don't. Gosh.
No deep sighs.
Well, she didn't say that. Then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced radio show on Time Warner Cable's Channel 14, Tuesdays at 5, Wednesdays at 6, and on...
The media's making a monster out of you because they don't care about the truth. All they care about is entertainment. Well, you need a forum where they don't even know the meaning of the word entertainment. Public access television.
Sundays at 6, and if anybody out there in the Kenosha Today Nation wants to host a production meeting, call us at 262-652-6767. Hey, coming up next Saturday, November 11th, which is Veterans Day, we'll be live from the American Legion Post 21 in downtown Kenosha for our big Shadow of Our Fathers Veterans Day tribute, honoring our past. And we have a lot of guests coming up, and they have a whole they're upstairs. We're going to be downstairs in what is now considered 58 below.
58 below.
And have some great videos, and we're going to take your tributes either there or live call-ins, right, Wacky Wayne? We're going to be able
That's
to...
the plan.
That's the plan.
Right.
Well, no. I think we got all our cords purchased and all our adapters
One
ready
can
to
only
go.
hope, yes.
Yeah.
It's a nice event.
Well, only hope. I'd like to hear a little more.
all the switches will be flipped in the right directions.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna. If you have a question for Samantha, give us a call 262-694-1050. And I guess the big thing issue these days is the Foxconn contract, which you have already voted on, correct?
Well, no, we voted on a bill to allow WEDC to go out and give them the authority to spend money and for the tax credit. So again, WEDC
is
the person who's negotiating along with the governor and his administration through the Department of Administration, just like they do any other corporation who is receiving grants or loans or tax credits from WEDC.
And WEDC is Wisconsin Economic Development Agency, right?
Correct, correct. And formerly the Department of Commerce. So
okay.
It's been, in the state of Wisconsin for many years, again, promoting jobs and economic development in our area.
What? So this is standard procedure? This is nothing new?
No,
Okay.
This is nothing new. This is something, and they've been in negotiations all the way along the process. And again, they had to give us the framework of the bill, which we voted on, a few months.
But you haven't really seen the bills. How many pages long?
It was about 34, I think.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a small bill.
So everybody was able to read the basic concepts, right?
Correct.
And so now this is going to be voted on.
So this is the actual contract with WEDC and Foxconn.
Okay.
And again, the board of WEDC will vote on that contract.
Well, okay.
And their board stepped back a few weeks ago and didn't actually take a vote because they saw some problems with it.
Okay.
And now they're renegotiating a couple parts, from what I understand. And because, again, negotiations are private between the company and the agency.
Well, therein lies some of the problems that the people, that I hear throughout the community. Why should this be a private? I mean, they're going to use $3 billion of public money, taxpayers' money. Why shouldn't this be open to everybody?
It's depending on if they actually create the jobs, and not a dollar goes out the door until infrastructure investment and or somebody gets a paycheck. And those are the two big things that I've said along the way here. They're not getting money until there are shovels in the ground. They're building infrastructure up at highway, between Highway 20 and 11. And
Oh, it's not from K. I thought it was KR. No?
yeah, KR, I'm
KR
sorry. Yep.
211?
Yep.
Okay. And then from the interstate, how far east?
True to H.
Oh,
you know,
okay. Oh, that's and so they would be buying up all those farms and all that land, which is a boom for
Right.
those people that have that. The first proposal that it could have possibly come to Kenosha County and would have been in Paris.
And both of them were negotiating at the same time. Both Kenosha
Two separate
and,
ones?
Yep, Kenosha County was negotiating, and so was Mount Pleasant. Again, a city of Kenosha and Mount Pleasant were both vying at the same time.
Well, as it turns out, the way it turns out, it's probably best that Mount Pleasant took this for Kenosha County, and I don't know what to get your feelings and see what some of our listeners think. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would be supportive either way. Either way, it's going to impact our county.
Okay, but
just like Uline and Amazon and Haribo is now coming
Right.
to Kenosha County. They don't even have a shovel in the ground yet at their property. They have a little bit further out timeline. Again, Haribo has been negotiating as well with WEDC.
who was that one?
The gummy bear.
Oh, the gummy bears.
Yes.
No, there was a time when they were gonna take off and leave here. Now they're staying, right?
They're staying. They're going to be here in Pleasant Prairie. So just so much exciting time. Almost you forget about all the other companies. You got Golden Standard that's opening up its door. F&A, another 400 jobs in the area. Aaron's company moved to Summers. Vonco is out in Salem. I missed they just had an open house this week. So just so many new opportunities for people in the Kenosha County area.
Well, let's go back to the possibility that would have been in Paris. And if I understand this right, if Paris would have gotten it, and then they would have automatically become incorporated?
No,
No?
I mean, they could have if the people in the town of Paris applied for
Okay.
it. It was optional, and I thought that was
Oh.
important.
Oh.
So again, Paris is going through a boundary agreement, and that
Right.
is right
That
now
was-
up at the Department of Administration for their final approval. I just contacted the
Okay.
department this
All right.
week. So again, the boundary agreement between Summers, Kenosha, and Paris is waiting final approval and should be given soon, within the next few weeks.
Well, according to Mayor Antaranian's statement, and I remember this, he said if Paris would have got it, it would have been automatically.
Nope, the
No, that
people
wouldn't have been.
actually had to
Would
apply.
have voted, okay.
They had to go through the process, not the whole process,
okay.
but it was a streamlined process. But it's interesting because the town of Paris has asked for that opportunity to incorporate many years ago.
But then
to my predecessor.
But then the problem is, who's going to give them water? And if they did that,
Well, unfortunately, one person, and maybe there would be another opportunity to get that water from Racine County. Why would it have to be the city of Kenosha?
well, that's a very good point. I guess everybody has made the assumption that it had to come from Kenosha.
Because Mount Pleasant is adjacent to the town of Paris.
Let me just move this a little bit.
Sorry. Okay. I was sharing the mic. I'm sharing the mic with. No.
We'll get to him later.
Okay. Okay.
But no, that's a good point because I guess nobody never thought of that. And all right, suppose that would have happened.
So the four corners between Racine and Kenosha County
Right.
is the town of Paris, the town of Yorkville, the village of Mount Pleasant, and the village of Summers.
Now, do you represent all of those?
No.
No, just
I represent Summers, part of Summers,
part of Summers.
and Paris. All
Okay.
of Paris.
So if Paris would have gotten this, hypothetically, that would have landlocked the city, correct? From going any
Well,
further
right
west?
now, this boundary agreement, technically controls the borders for 50 years.
Okay.
So, Mayor Antranium and most likely myself are not going to be here in 50 years.
I will be. Wayne, you going to be around?
There's good odds I won't.
I'm going to outlive you all.
Yeah.
I'll be here with the boys here.
Yeah, right.
I'll be here with the boys.
kids will be here.
We'll
Yeah.
take care of this. But, it caused some really tough conflicts that had to be all worked out.
To be honest, the whole process will go back to the IGA and the first original agreement between the village of Summers and the town of Paris.
Right.
The city of Kenosha wasn't included in that original IGA. So it was transformative. Just that whole conversation, in talking to the residents that I represent in Paris, have always wanted to generally maintain their rural character. But the corridor is so valuable. And that's why, the partners working together, Jim Cruiser and myself, we did support those changes. I have supported, the town of Summers actually getting the opportunity to have a TIF district. I passed special legislation in which Peter Barca and I, it came up this week in my Time Hopper and Facebook, allowed the town of Summers, now they're a village, so they could automatically have that, right? But to allow a township to have the ability to have a TIF district. That was something that was special that was done for Summers.
You almost
about 3
need a
years ago.
TIF district in these days to if you're going to have any kind of development, right?
Correct. It's the only tool that local governments have to give an opportunity for.
And for those people that don't know, you don't have to go into the details, but just basically a TIF district.
It helps the infrastructure. The taxes deferred goes to pay for infrastructure cost. So
now Uline in their new amazingly building and in the landscaping that they have, that's a great location for them. Is that actually open yet?
I believe so. Yes.
And
yes.
that sits in Paris, right?
It is in the town of Paris, which is now actually the city of Kenosha. I call it the Paris location because it's originally that land was Paris's, but now it's
so then
Kenosha's.
when we get to in the northwest corner of on 142 and going northwest of that sits in Paris, but that's all prime for everything else that's going to come in.
Right. I mean, in my thought is it's got to be regional. Why does one community have to do much better than the other? And again, that's why the IGA and I supported that, because you had the opportunity for Summers to be successful. You have the opportunity for Paris to receive some tax benefit.
Sure.
And keep again, that agreement between Summers and Paris, again, giving Paris that opportunity for tax revenue. It was truly important to me. And really, it hasn't been done around the state of Wisconsin.
And now they created a TIF district for the old Dairyland Park. Somebody's going to be in there and announce that probably in the next couple months, which I think they'll probably level that, I'm going to guess, and go from there. But then you take that whole corridor going from north.
Now, KR, it's going to start. It's going to start right at 11, going south. I mean,
or either way.
and even goes from 20. I mean, there's several businesses even further north, and we've got G in Racine County.
And I gotta applaud, the farmers that have like in Summers, and some of those acreages were being assessed for maybe 8,000 to 10,000 to grow soybeans, and now some developer's going to come in and give them 50. I've heard upwards of $60,000 an acre. God love them. You got to grow a lot of corn to make up that.
Right.
But I see some problems that you got to Summers, like unlike Pleasant Prairie that put 165 and put West Park in there, and Elmo and I were talking about how that all came to be. But then you got Summers that this is going to overwhelm them, don't you think? And Mount Pleasant and Paris.
But I think they're growing in again, this growth is going to come quicker than we expected.
Sure.
But, that has always been the thought, was to, develop the corridor. And again, you have everybody seated at the table to make sure that it's done correctly. And again, we have been talking about this for a while. There are many things that are going to come with all this development, and people need to think about is, our school districts, as we have more people in our area, and the housing issues. We already have a housing crisis where we just don't have enough stock, and I've talked to many people, our contractors, our developers, about, doing more growth in our area.
Isn't a new subdivision planned west of south of 165 for about 400 homes? Where did I read that? Something.
I'm not sure about that particular one.
But what is your feeling on now, because of all of this growth, and when we say it's going to come quickly, 3 to 5 years is pretty quick. And let's say you put in a subdivision of impact fees. They're legal in Wisconsin, correct?
They are not. Well, certain impact fees are. Correct.
Well, let's say you have a developer, and the house
you can't do for schools. So that's one of the challenges.
You cannot do it for school?
Correct.
Okay. However, let's go back to Whitecaps. Whitecaps had an impact fee, and they put in that 8 acres for Nash Park.
Right.
It was Nash
Park. That's a community thing that everybody can use.
It's not Nash Park. Nash Park is technically where the baseball field is. Okay. But then, because they needed to build another school, the city deeded that 8 acres to the school district, and they put Nash Elementary in there, which was perfect because now everybody can walk and you can avoid all the busing.
Right.
Okay, but even if you can't initially put impact fees for schools, I mean, you're going to have garbage pickup, fire department, police, and right on down along. Even if this is all in Mount Pleasant, Summers is going to be experienced, as is the Kenosha Sheriffs, right?
Well, I just think the whole region, not just,
Yeah.
two communities. I think the whole region might be impacted. There might be people who want to live in Lake Geneva and Walworth County and drive and commute in. It's only really 40 minutes from there over to the proposed site. So, again, this is where many people need to sit down and have those conversations and work together for the greater good, keeping the rural areas, the farmland that is because I know Brighton doesn't really want to grow. The other part of Paris doesn't really want to grow. So in talking to those fathers over there, again, it's planning for this development to come forward.
Well, and I just want to make sure I understand, when development does come in Paris, that does get annexed to the city of Kenosha?
Right. Well,
yes or no?
As the boundary agreement is set up, those boundaries are frozen. So there's, I think, 2,500 to 3,000 acres, depending. There's one parcel that's
along the west part of I-94, north of 142. Somewhere in there.
Well, it's from KR south.
Okay.
Out 60th Street. There's some chunks of land.
Oh, okay.
Again, because they already have Strawberry Creek, which that used to be Bristol, and such. So I wish we had a map because it's not perfect. I don't bring the boundary agreement map with me.
It would be too simple just to square it off, right?
But it does look like an L.
Okay.
It does.
Right.
It does. It's not. Again, it's to try to avoid those areas like where Summers is those A and B people. Where you
that's
have
really confusing to everybody that's out there. Which is the village? Which is the township? Or whatever. If you just joined us, we're talking to Representative Samantha Kirkman. If you have a question for her, give us a call, 262-694-1050. Well, like you said, it's exciting times, and once they worked it out and they did it all right, because this kind of development is, we lost all our development, and we're still struggling in the city of what we're going to do with the Chrysler site, although it looks really nice since they took all the buildings down and pulverized all the stone and put grass in there. That's going to be another problem because of whatever you put in there. It's going to create a real traffic problem coming up 52nd Street or 60th Street, whatever. And I don't think we were equipped for that. When Chrysler or AMC was there, all those people lived within pretty much walking distance. And this is a whole new ballgame. And when you talked about people coming into work at Foxconn, I think we have about 30,000 people that live in Kenosha and work elsewhere.
Correct.
And so we went from a factory community to a kind of a bedroom community, and it did change the political climate because all the unions that we had on those 8 AMCs, Chrysler, Dynamatic, and what have you, were all Democrats. And when they all left, then it brought in the influx of people from Illinois, who not only Republicans but Bear fans. God forbid.
I have to say, my dad, and if he's listening, is a Bear fan. So, from Chicago.
Oh, God love the Bear fans.
And my mom is from Milwaukee, and, they met, and you got a Chicago and a Packer fan in the house.
That must make Thanksgiving dinner pretty interesting.
When they play, I don't know, it's been very rare that they've played each other on a Thanksgiving, but yeah, it has.
Oh, well, I'm just the conversation. Yeah. But, so it'd be nice for people to actually, in Abbott, if I understand this right, is because my daughter works. They have about 6,000 people that live in Kenosha and work at Abbott. Abbott's our biggest employer
It's still
right now,
our
right?
biggest employer, but I hope coming forward here, you've got Amazon, which had 4,800 people, if I checked last Christmas cycle. So, Uline, I haven't looked at their numbers, but that new Paris location, as I call it, 700 employees. So the corporate, at 165 proper was about 1,000 the last time I checked. She also added a building next to that building. I don't know if you've driven over there by 165 and noticed that there's another corporate office building.
I did not see that one.
Right
I just
off
thought
the
this
frontage
other one.
road there.
Right. And then there's the 2 million square foot buildings that she has behind distribution warehousing, and then the location. So again, just a lot of great economic things going on in the county. And then across from Uline is going to be gummy bears. So diverse.
In Pleasant Prairie, though, right?
In Pleasant Prairie.
Now, then we'll take a break here. One more question. Because of all of these Amazon, I'm not picking on Amazon or Uline, but all the rest of them, the job wages are maybe $15,000-$16,000,
but they're only going up.
That's my point. Do you see this automatically climbing because they're going to compete for that wage?
Yes,
worker?
You look at the PDQ when they opened in Pleasant Prairie here on Highway 50. They had a sign out that said gas station attendant looking $11.50 an hour. So again, that is more of a basic starter job. Being and I did that third shift when I was in college. I made a lot less than $11.50 an hour when I worked third shift.
Well, it's gonna automatically. You don't have to raise the minimum wage. What is the minimum wage in Wisconsin?
$7.25.
$7.25. Well, when there was talk to raise it to 15, I said you don't have to do that by legislation. You're going to let this kind of do it on its own, right?
Right. And it's exciting, not just here. I talked to one of my colleagues from up in the Rice Lake area. He said they're having a hard time in finding employees. So it's just not down here. I mean, we see it just because of the influx of new businesses coming into Wisconsin and being created.
Let me read this last message and we'll take our break because this goes to exactly what we're talking about, because this is directed toward all the business owners who are listening in the Kenosha Today Nation this morning. Because more and more businesses are expanding here in southeastern Wisconsin, northeastern Illinois, the demand for new employees is at an all-time high for all types of businesses. And what better way to seek qualified new hires than to take advantage of the very low Kenosha Today advertising rates and increase your ability to fill these positions. Here at AM 1050, we have approximately 50,000 listeners here on the Kenosha Today show on both the live and Saturday program, along with the Sunday replay, reaching as far south as Arlington Heights, Illinois, west of Lake Geneva, into the northern suburbs of Milwaukee. So if you're looking to fill jobs as service types, truck drivers, general laborers, warehouse workers, to include any of your skilled job openings, call me, Scotty Barter, at 262-652-6767, and we'll get all the information out to you, and then we'll continue our efforts to help you connect with potential new employees. 262-652-6767. Okay, we have to take a short break for the weather, which I'm not sure why we have to do this, because all we have to do is look out on the WLAP weather deck, and it's not looking good, is it?
It's cloudy and rainy.
It's not going to be 85 and balmy, sunshine and southerly west winds today.
No Hawaiian shirt, Bermuda short weather.
So why are we waiting 2 minutes? Weekly report coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP here at Camp Happy Face, and also bringing you Gas Charlie, Stray Cats, Backyard Beavers, and saving the Kenosha Today Nation from all the perils of the world, because you certainly don't want to end up as toxic waste in the Lincoln Park Lagoon. And by the way, or even worse than the dumpster after the sea scum has been winterized. That's
right, after it's
pretty
been
much put on ice.
Hey, you see we got a sea scum too we're looking at there?
I had a boat down by the boathouse. I don't know if you saw it, but it's been winterized and put away in the dumpster.
With a chainsaw.
For that forever. Matzer was going to take, he wanted me to buy it, and he was willing to take terms, and I didn't know how to spread out $1 over 12 months, but he was willing to do that. Anyway, we invite you to join the thousands of fans who have already liked and signed us, liked us up on Facebook. And we are brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Bronx Stop, along with a host of other many very fine local businesses. Joining us again this morning, our Director of Cyber Security, Emil Schneider.
Good
Spider, Wrong Way Ronnie, the camera dude, is in Wacky Wayne's here making a very good impression. And our very special guest on Bring Your Mother to Work Saturday, the Kirkman boys, Ian and Evan, are here with their mother, State Representative Samantha Kirkman. So what do you guys think on being on this big-time radio show?
They're reading.
I like it.
Get a little closer.
We've never been on a radio show before, so first time's always the best.
Well, that's probably right there. that's probably the best thing to do. What grade are you guys in?
I'm in 6th grade. Some of my hobbies are reading, and more reading.
Oh my God!
Smart kid.
And the other one?
Evan?
Evan?
I'm in 5th grade.
He's a little shy.
And your hobbies are? Do you have hobbies?
He likes going on his tablets.
Yes.
He likes what?
Computers.
Computers. Oh, well, I probably won't be homeschooling these boys anytime real soon. Anyway, today is celebrating our 4th year anniversary of being here at WLIP. And I'm sure John Perry's still scratching his head. What was I thinking about with this deal?
I see they've decorated the room quite nicely for the event.
You know, every year it seems like the disclaimers get longer and a little more.
The show gets shorter, yeah. Uh-huh.
Also, next Saturday on November 11th, the big Shadow of Our Fathers Veterans Day salute. We're going to be live from the American Legion Post 21, downtown Kenosha, honoring our past. And then, Samantha, on November 18th, Representative Todd Onstad is going to be here.
You should have us on at the same time.
I said,
that was discussed.
I said,
that would be fun. That would be fun.
I told Emma we should have had a little courage and done that, and
Well, obviously, this week we were in session, so we get to spend a lot of time together. Our Kenosha family.
I wonder-
Peter, Todd, and myself.
I wonder who family members he's going to bring in. He's probably going to bring in all his aunts and uncles and probably have 20 people lined up out here.
More than mine.
Also, in the first half hour, no one has won this Secret Word Challenge, sponsored by Mike Doran's Clothing, offering the largest selection of men's suits starting at $179, with sizes ranging from 34 short all the way up to size 48 long, and for only $199, you can get sizes 50 to 60. In both cases, it includes a shirt, tie, belt, a pair of socks. And also, this show is being recorded basically for training purposes, so that we can replay this tomorrow.
Right.
Here on AM 1050 WAP, and it also gives Wayne an opportunity to, well, it won't happen this morning, at least in the first hour.
Ideally not, no.
Blip out any words that might be inappropriate.
We haven't really gotten a phone call yet. That's what I'm worried about.
Or prepare us for any upcoming litigation, because hopefully you want to be here a year from now.
Right,
We do have
in
a
theory.
phone call. All right, let's take the phone call.
All right.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Hello, good morning. It's Irish Ruth.
Well, make
Morning,
this
Ruth.
snappy, Ruth. What's up?
Well, I want to tell you that I love the Packers. I think the team and the people are phenomenal. And I always tell people in Chicago when they're wearing their Bear clothing, why wouldn't I be a Packer fan? And I know that if you put in a prayer for your enemy, like the Packer fans pray for the Bears,
No,
they
we
will
don't.
get
No,
their
we don't. We
divine
don't.
intervention, Aaron Rodgers, back again.
Wait.
So that prayer goes right to the top of the heap.
There's all this rain and this stuff. I'm losing the transmission here. I'm sorry. That it happens. It happens when we get all this rain.
Sometimes, yeah.
Also, after the 11 o'clock break, see, we do that when Democrats go on, just so you know. And we'll tell Onstead that in 2 weeks we reverse it.
Right.
Top 10 things Kenosha will do. Kenoshans will do with the extra hour after changing their clocks back an hour. And now, boys and girls, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City and Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And to be eligible, no one from your household could have won any contest on WIP in the last 60 days. We will now clear the phone lines, and I'm going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, multiple-choice, intelligent question. You will get then 3 somewhat intellectual answers to choose from, and after that, you'll hear the ding. Yeah, girl. Boy, she's got experience.
Oh, yeah.
She must be. You're chairman for the Transportation Audit Committee for a reason. Yeah.
I know how to pound a gavel.
Yeah. We should have had you do that. Located at, this is sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, located at 4917 7th Avenue here in Kenosha, open Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., featuring weekly lunch and dinner specials. Enjoy a beautiful waterfront view, and stop in for their big Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast buffet, and also coming up on Thanksgiving, which is November 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., the big Thanksgiving buffet, and it's only $19.95. Has all the fixings. You better call now for a reservation. Adults are $19.95, children 5 and 10 are $7.95, 4 and under are $4.95. And the number to call is 654-9922. And you can also enjoy a beautiful waterfront view. And if you're planning a party or a banquet, call Joyce at 262-654-9922, or you can find them on the web at theboathousekenosha.com. Now, this was an article actually in the paper, What Defines the Middle Class in America? Now, this was put out by the Kenosha News.
Okay.
Now, we thought we'd refine this. Now, here's today's sophisticated question. What defines the middle class here in Kenosha? A, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, no. That's right. That's right. Be helpful if I knew what the devil I was doing. A is the wheels on your home came from a Kenosha trolley. B, parents who can successfully execute the pull my finger trick at holiday dinners. Or C, your family holds the record for appearing on the Jerry Springer Show. 262-694-1050. First caller for $25 Kenosha Today gift certificate to the Boathouse. What defines the middle class here in Kenosha? Well, we have a caller in. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Who are we talking to?
Robert Higginbottom.
Robert Higginbottom. Okay, Robert, I'm going to read the question again. Are you from Kenosha?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. What defines the middle class here in Kenosha? A, The wheels on your home came from a Kenosha trolley. B, parents who can successfully execute the pull my finger trick at holiday dinners. Or C, your family holds the record for appearing on the Jerry Springer Show. Robert.
Pulling your finger.
That's a correct answer.
Yeah.
Parents who can successfully execute the pull my finger trick at holiday dinners. Are you able to do that?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what defines the middle class here in Kenosha. How long have you lived in Kenosha?
25 years.
Do you have a question you want to ask Samantha Kirkman?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Samantha Kirkman, representative that works up in Madison. You know what a representative does?
Yes.
Okay. She's here in the studio.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you want to ask her a question?
No.
Okay. Okay, Robert. Well, at any rate, here's what's going to happen. Off the air, Wacky Wayne's going to get your full name, address, phone number, and on Monday I'll send you out the certificate. You can take it to the boathouse, and you get $25 off your next boathouse bill.
Excellent. Thank you.
And good luck on you. Do you practice this pull my finger trick?
Almost every day.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right.
Hold on, Robert.
What he does that, I got to read one more thing for Pete's Place, and then we'll get back to Samantha here. This caller here, maybe they have a question for us. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
There's no caller.
Oh, there's no caller. Well, how about this line?
They dropped off.
Sure, why not?
I hate that when he does that. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
I have a question for the legislator. This is Irish Ruth.
Okay, what's your question, Ruth?
Well, my question is, would she agree with me that I believe it's discrimination when they pay $10 an hour for part-time and $15 an hour for full-time at Amazon?
Wait a minute. Let me, before she gets it, why do you think that's discrimination? That's a part-time job versus a full-time job.
Well, because it is giving one advantage to a different segment of society of people. Some people have disabilities and they can't work a full-time job. Some are senior citizens and they can't work a full-time job. I believe in a court of law that a judge would say class action lawsuit.
Well, how come this hasn't been done before this? And then I'm going to let
because they don't offer solutions to this country.
All right.
They're not interested in solving problems.
Okay.
We're actually...
Okay, you asked the question. I'm going to let her answer. Go ahead, Samantha.
Hi, Ruth. Well, I appreciate your question. Companies set up, their pay structure as long as they're paying more than the minimum, which is $7.25 here in Wisconsin, for the work that somebody might perform. And again, when I was in college, I worked 3 jobs. I waitressed, I did the books for a marina, and I worked third shift at a gas station. So, I got paid, a variety of, the waitressing job paid me $2.14 an hour plus my tips. And I think gas station, I probably made about $5 an hour. So again, wages are set by the company as long as they meet, federal and state guidelines.
It is what it is. And if you don't like that, you don't go work there. You go work someplace else. Go work for...
Can I add something to that?
Go ahead one last time, and then we got to get moving.
Okay. I also worked 3 jobs when I was in high school, and I think there is an entire difference when you receive a high school diploma or a degree, and you are entitled at that point to make a higher salary. My point is that these are not students getting student wages when they're working for Amazon. So I love the way she answered it. I think she is absolutely remarkable. I'm glad that I live in another state so I don't have to pay political repercussions for this idea. But anyway.
Oh, Ruthie. Hey, we got to go. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Political repercussions. 3 of the last 4 governors in Illinois, they're all in jail.
Okay.
And Rob Blagojevich just asked for a reduction of his sentence today.
I saw that in today's.
He asks for it every couple of months. I mean, really.
Right.
Come on, he's in the jailhouse band. He sweeps up, works in the
He gets
library.
$3 a month. Right. He's in a lap of luxury.
Right.
Trying to sell a Senate seat for $500,000. I mean, you got to overlook some things. All right, now we're going to go to. Elmo's got a question about the Transportation Audit Committee, which you are the chairman.
Legislative Audit Committee.
Legislative Audit. Okay.
Samantha is the co-chairman of on the Assembly side, and there's another chairman on the Senate side. So. And in January, an audit was released of the Department of Transportation, which did not look real good. That the major projects are costing over double what the initial estimates were doing, and I read through the whole 149 pages or whatever that thing was. And,
it's probably more than those other guys did. Not Samantha, but these other characters.
And it seemed like the DOT is not following statutory procedures as far as record keeping and reporting and things like that. And I know right before the audit came out, I remember it was December, early January, the former head turned in his resignation at that point. Well, there's somebody new in there, and I just with the budget that was just passed, that was a big point of contention as far as what to do about this. And
well, let's
maybe I'll answer my own question.
Well,
here.
You're done.
There's so much wrong there that there's no way they can get it.
How are we going to fix this problem?
So, yeah.
Let's go back to Samantha. How are we going to fix this problem?
Well, it was quite an audit, and the reason it was done when it was done was so it would be done in time for the audit or the budget process. And Secretary Ross is the new secretary. Secretary Gottlieb stepped down, and as you are right, one of the things that Secretary Ross did right away is actually fired 11 of the administrators that were in the department, and made significant changes. So since that audit has been released, and many of the problems have there's been transparency, light shined on it. There have been significant changes, and I'll just bring up locally. There was a project here. They just finished up with Highway 45 south of Highway 50.
Took forever.
It started in March, and it's just getting completed now. But the next phase is 50 north to Racine County, and that was supposed to be a major reconstruct project. They were going to buy 110 properties. It was going to cost a significant amount of money. They've actually downsized that project over the summer. They're just going to do a resurfacing, buy about 10 properties, make safer.
Which highway is this?
It's Highway 45 north of Highway 50.
Oh, north. Okay, I get it.
So they haven't done that stretch. They were going to put in a roundabout at Highway 142. They scaled that back. So they, again, I think the new administrator, new secretaries have really made a significant change in the last few months. And again, it did become part of the budget debate, whether, we should spend money in transportation, and where should we spend money in transportation. Obviously, with the Foxconn coming to town, it changed the dynamics of the north-south versus the east-west highway and the I-94 corridor, which one should we do next?
Well, that should have all been done. That was the last part that was never completed, the fourth lane on I-94 from
142
to
Racine County line.
So now that's part of the Foxconn deal. Are they paying for that, or is the state of Wisconsin going to?
That money is budgeted now. They've taken money out of doing the east-west corridor, and the governor actually, has said we'll put that one back, and then we'll finish the north-south corridor.
Where are we at with the zoo interchange? That seems to have.
Have you gone through? It's.
I've tried to avoid it.
It's truly, amazing. I had to go north for an event up in the Heartland area, and drove through a different direction than I usually. Sometimes I'll go up through Madison.
Right.
So I went a different way, and truly remarkable to keep that interchange open for the most part. Moving traffic still, again, there's been sections that had to close down for points of time, but my mom grew up on Highway 100, just there.
Yeah.
And so I've heard stories about when it was actually built from my grandmother, and they didn't have to contend with trying to keep traffic open. It was new. So now you actually have to keep traffic at least moving through the interchange while trying to rebuild this massive.
And you throw in an accident on the morning or afternoon rush hour.
Yes, rain.
So when's it going to be? It's been about at least 4 years, right? I mean, once I can see it when it's done, it's going to be fantastic.
Right.
But I guess everybody what's the projection?
And I don't have that right off the top of my head, but yes.
At least another year, maybe.
Yes, I believe it's next year, 20.
So when you sit down and you do these audits, you do other than the transportation, you
Correct.
do other
Correct. We just had a veterans audit that came out, a few months ago, and we just had a hearing on that a few weeks ago. Secretary Zimmerman. It was specifically about King, nursing home, veterans home, up in Waupaca County. Really shined a light. Again, transparency is good. How can the secretaries do better? This was brought to light by some complaints by employees and some by the residents. And again, they've made significant progress towards keeping the money that veterans should be receiving from both the federal and state government, their benefits, and then the local, their personal match dollars that go into funding these nursing homes.
Now, these secretaries of these various, like the transportation veteran, are those appointed positions?
They are appointed
by the governor,
and approved by the Senate.
And then they are for what length of time? 3 or 4 years.
So they serve at the pleasure of the governor, or unless they decide to step away. Secretary Kathy Stepp from the DNR just stepped down to become the EPA region director someplace.
Well, as long as we're talking about the governor, his popularity in Wisconsin, other than maybe the southeastern corner, because of the casino long gone, done, that ship has sailed. But his popularity in the rest of the state is pretty good.
It's going to be interesting to see how this governor's race shapes up. I believe tomorrow he's starting his tour.
He's got a war chest
to announce. Yes.
And who's going to run against him?
I think there are 6 or 8. 6 or 8. 6 or 8. I want to make sure that we.
That's good.
Roughly.
Yeah. Okay.
I personally, I don't see anybody beating him because.
Well, at least 2 or 3 of my colleagues are running. Dana Walks, who's a representative from the Eau Claire area. Kathleen Weinhaut, who's on the audit committee with me. Senator Weinhaut is announced. There are, I think, a couple business people out there. Mike McCabe, I think the head of the Democracy Campaign, has thrown his name out there. I mean,
it's going to take. I just saw it last week. The governor's race in Illinois is going to be $100 million. Because you got Rauner who's got deep pockets, and this guy who's going to run against him is another business. $100 million for a governor's seat that, what's the governor make? 200,000, if that.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
I think Governor Walker makes 144,000.
It's $3 a day.
That's right. But so then the Democrats will have to have a primary. I'm sure. When would that be? In March? No. Yeah, probably in April.
April. So it is interesting to watch the whole process work out here. That ads are running. I know I put on go into the internet, I see an ad. I turn on the TV, I see an ad, and it's a year out from the election. I
listen and I see these ads, and I often wonder. I have to wait till the end to figure out who it's for, because they get into all this bashing this and bashing that guy and whatever, and I think people are turned off. Although some experts think that negative ads work, but I personally, I don't know about Elmo and about the rest of you guys. Elmo, you weigh in it because he follows this.
Well, Scott, you have some experience in running for office, don't you?
Talk about negative advertising.
We'll put you.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? 2, I just can't understand.
How many years has it been? How many years?
Oh, you had to bring that up, too. First one was 96, and I didn't know any better, so 2008. I think it was just bad timing. I happened to be running for mayor the same time John Anaranian was. That could have been a quirk, and Keith Bosman, but anyway. You know what? I think that what I took from those 2 times, running for public office is a very humbling experience. It's not so humbling. It's better when you win, as you know, but I guess I don't think any politician wants to lose the last election.
No.
That you run for.
It's very difficult. I mean, being that I'm actually the most senior member on the Republican side in the House. So I have a couple of Democrats that have served longer than me, Leon Young, Chris Sinicki, and Therese Brousseau, but then there's me, and nobody from my class or people that I ran at the same time in 2000 came.
I was talking about that. I remember years ago when Dave Beth ran against Larry Zarletti, and those sheriff's term were only 2 years at the time.
Right.
And he could never beat him as a Democrat. And I think there probably was at least 3 times.
Right.
Close. And so then he switches parties, and being out in Twin Lakes in your area, he beats him, and he only beat him once. He beat him a second time, I think, right? But that shows the changes in Kenosha County, and it used to be, I'd say 25 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Elmo, anything west of I-94 was basically Republican. Everything east of I-94 was the Democratic Party.
Right.
And now it's almost down to 22nd Avenue.
Right, and it's just changing dynamics. You know, it really is interesting to watch in a span. That's relatively short period of time how the demographics have changed in our county with regards to politics, and that's why it's so important to get out, regardless if you're a Democrat and Republican. And you know, I know we're going to be going. The boys and I are going to be at the St. Francis Turkey Dinner tomorrow night out in Brighton. So I know Senator Wirtz. I have to compete with his schedule. And Bob trumps me. Bob trumps me.
Oh, he trumps everybody.
He trumps me. You know, again, I've lost a few pounds over the years. I'm trying not to put it back on. And
every time we see Bob, he trumps us. In fact, it was when we saw you at the summer's 4th of July parade. And we see Bob, and he's always very cordial, and we've known him for years. I say, Bob, what are you doing here? He says, well, I'm here on the 4th of July parade. He goes, well, there's no spaghetti dinner here.
But there was an ice cream social
Yeah, well,
after.
yeah,
So,
there you go.
you know, gotcha. You know, our life in politics does revolve around food. So.
And pancake and porky days and breakfast, and I think he holds the state record. Joe Andre had it, but he's beat that record for. But I mean, you got to get out and mix and mingle, and that's a good place to do it. The festivals and
it's important for people to have access to their local elected officials, and just like with the dynamic, you know, recently Peter's, you know, in the changes in the Democratic Party, and Gordon Hitz is their leader, and his first session day to have Gordon as the leader was different, you know, not to see Peter in that role.
We got to go.
Was it?
We got a minute.
Oh, okay. You know what? I like Peter. I think in my view, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so I think
he did what was right, though. He voted for the
I know
district.
what he did.
And
he had to, and so did Todd.
Yes, they both did.
And then they kind of threw him under the bus, kind of,
things.
so to speak. Well, that's politics. What are you going to do?
Right.
We appreciate you coming in here.
Thank
Boys,
you.
I know you're excited about being here.
Oh, yeah.
One's on his tablet and one's reading a book. And
One finished the book.
yeah.
Well, Mom's been on the radio a lot of times, and you know, given the opportunity to see what's behind the scenes.
We're delighted that you
Thank
brought your mom in here and bring your mom to work Saturday. So, are you guys going to run for student council?
He didn't make it, huh?
He didn't make it.
He tried.
Well, you don't want me to advise you as campaign manager. So, anyway, Samantha, thank you for coming in, and we
Thanks.
enjoy us. And we're going to take a little break,
out.
and then we'll come back with some more.
Celebrating 70 years.
This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the November 4th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, broadcasting live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP on your radio dial. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses, taking serious journalism, like you just saw with Samantha Kirkman.
Actually, serious for once here. So.
Can't even
let's
believe
not
it.
make a pattern of this.
Yeah.
Well, we are. We got a couple serious weeks coming up. So.
To an all-time high, reporting on local stories, states issues.
Right.
Yeah,
now
so
that
much
she's,
for that.
Now that she's gone, it's right back in there. All right.
Spanning the globe, keeping it real and spreading the love, and being the mature adults that we are here on the Kenosha Today show this morning. Speaking of maturity, joining us this morning, our Director of Cybersecurity and a former CEO at Equifax and the head engineer of Do Over Kenosha, Elmo Schneider is here. Elmo.
Good morning, everyone.
You know, we probably impressed her because we kind of knew what we were talking about, this Department of Transportation or Department of Legislation. What are you laughing for?
She's actually probably listening right now, laughing in her car.
She goes,
What a
these
couple
guys,
of idiots.
They think they know
these guys
stuff.
didn't have a clue. Anyway, bringing his sophomore humor and buzzkill antics to the Kenosha Today show. Nothing makes your mom more proud than sophomore humor and being a buzzkill. Which, by the way, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you have plans for this buzzkill business, right? Or
Oh, yeah,
the
we're
birthday?
working on it. Yeah, plans are already well
The
underway.
less I know, the better. I don't know nothing about it.
Good.
I gave him an offer. I was asking what we're going to, because this is my birthday.
Right, yeah.
And he said, don't worry about it. Just show up.
Right.
I am taking responsibility for 100% of the content of that show. So
Write that in the
You are
disclaimer.
hereby warned.
I will not be here, so
Yes, we've already
taking care of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've already contacted Mr. Selovich to see if he can fill in for you on that date.
All right.
Oh, JumbotronMan.com.
Yeah.
Also with us, as he is every Saturday morning, our video coordinator, Wrong Way Spider, Ronnie the camera dude. So who's
snuggling up to Wayne here.
who's driveway did you drive sideways in
I
this
did
week?
again. I thought of that when I was backing out this morning. I'm like, is the elbow around? Yeah, did it again.
And in engineering the Kenosha Trade Trolley Ride this morning, Wacky Wayne joins our encounter group. Is there any reason why the Lord should weep this morning?
I think he is. I mean, it's all outside, all over the place. Yeah.
Sounds like he's crying.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't signed on to like us on the Kenosha Today Facebook page, and you better get on with that. You can see some of the most interesting postings anywhere on the planet. We had a CSI crime scene unit from our
That's
buddy
right.
Jay.
Not his real name.
Not his real name from a couple. Let's take this call.
Sure.
Okay. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hi, Ruth.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh,
Shirley.
Shirley.
It's your 4th anniversary, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thanks, Shirley.
Well, thanks, Shirley.
4 years, wow.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yep.
Hey, Shirley, we came
doesn't
across
seem
this.
that long, really,
is
but
this an
that's
article for
good.
Shirley?
No, the
for
one
you.
about the mayonnaise. Did I send you that one?
Uh-oh.
Is this?
They got something specifically
It's another-
for you, Shirley.
Another gardening tip here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you know what? I didn't.
You didn't get
I
it?
put my pot out in the garage.
Well, that's like, I remember that.
Okay, go ahead.
Somebody wrote into the gardening tip column or whatever asking.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Here it is.
Asking if they should smear mayonnaise on the leaves of their houseplants. Now, do you do that out in your garage, Shirley?
This is supposed to be for
No.
organic
No,
materials.
I really don't. I never heard of that.
That says organic materials and potting mix is so complex,
Uh-huh.
and it's so it won't affect the microbes, or whatever it is. Microbes. So you don't do that. You just wouldn't when you plant your.
How about peanut butter?
Yeah.
Peanut butter, that sounds better to me.
You got peanut butter on the plants in the garage. I suppose.
Well, how do you fertilize that stuff out there?
Nitrogen
Very
rich.
carefully.
Very carefully.
Very carefully.
Well, Shirley, I've got a question for you. Should we do away with daylight saving and altogether? You're going to turn your clock back, right?
Yes, you got to do that.
Because the top 10 that I'm going to read here is going to deal with that. But
Uh-huh.
so what do you?
I don't. I wish they just leave it all the same. I don't know.
Well,
But I guess they got a reason why they do it. But to me, I don't.
Well, there's the pros and cons, and the cons, disrupts
I
your
know.
body
There's
clocks.
pros and cons to both
Well,
of it.
actually, we didn't bring that up. Our guest we just had in the studio floated a proposal to eliminate daylight savings time here, and you know who was her biggest deterrence to that?
Who?
The golfers.
Well, yeah,
They didn't.
Yeah,
the golfers. They wanted it to be,
because you could golf in the summertime.
in
till
the
9 o'clock,
summertime. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that. Okay, Shirley. Well, pay attention
yeah,
now.
there's pros and cons to it. So I don't know. You
right.
got to just do what they do and
All right, the phone's light up
turn
here.
back tonight.
All right, fall back, baby.
Okay.
All right, Wacky Wing, we got another one?
We'll give it a
Bye-bye.
whirl. See you,
Okay.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shirley.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Morning.
Hello.
Yep.
All right, guess we can't try another one there.
No, let's not take that chance.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. At any rate, let me get back to this here. If you haven't signed on, we were talking about Facebook and how some of the CSI, Kenosha City CSI crime scene photos appeared this week. And our friend Jay, not his real name, lost a wheel. Somebody heisted a wheel from his bicycle as it was strapped to a telephone post at the wine nut. And the funny thing was, it took him till Library Park before he figured it out. You got any decent calls there?
No.
Okay. Neither one? Well, hang up on him then.
I have a funny feeling that that's not quite working the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So we'll
Anyway,
just take care of it.
the status of the Secret Word Challenge to win a $25 gift certificate from Mike Bjorn's Clothing, offering the largest selection of men's suits anywhere on the planet, starting at only $179 with sizes ranging from 34 short to 48 long, and for only $199, sizes 50 to 60. And in both cases, it includes a shirt, tie, belt, and a pair of socks.
And a bowl of soup.
And a bowl of soup. Where'd you get the bowl of soup? You just throw that in there? Well, he's not giving a bowl of soup.
Get a free bowl of soup with that hat.
When you buy a caddy shit.
Jeez, now that there is no soup at Bjorn's. Spider just got a little excited, and that's what happens when you get excited. You start sucking on soup.
My quiz they took. My 50.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the quiz, yeah.
Spider takes this test, 50-question test on trivia questions on Andy Griffith's show. And I'm shocked. He got 3 wrong.
Out of 50.
Man, how disgusting is that? You've got to
Study more.
You got to study more.
TV.
And you got way too much time on your hands.
Yeah, right.
Hey, when the boys were over there with the tablet, what were they doing? Something constructive, or?
Oh, I don't know. One was reading. I don't know what the other one was on the tablet doing.
So if you guys want to impress your sweetheart, get over to Mike Bjorn's Clothing, located in downtown Kenosha, or call him at 262-652-0648. Once again, next Saturday, November 11th, the Shadow of Our Fathers Veterans Day special. It's a remote. We're going to be in remote from American Legion Post 21 downtown Kenosha, which is the on 58th Street there.
504 58th Street.
It's called, the bar is now 58 Below.
Corner of
You got something
Fifth
you
Avenue
feel
and
good about
58th
there?
Street.
All right. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
How are you doing?
Okay.
No, the question is how.
It was very nice to meet your inspiration yesterday.
Yeah, wasn't it? Captain Mike was there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was impressed with Captain Mike that he really has self-control and was dedicated to his Uber job. Just dealing with H2O. That's all he was.
Yeah, a little sippy cup, and he had one fare that he had to go out to Carthage, and he made it back, and he was good to go for another round.
That's correct. He was abstaining totally from any of the more violent spirits.
So what are you going to do with the... I'm about to read what everybody in Kenosha is going to do, but what are you going to do with the extra hour? First of all, let me ask you, do you think we should abandon this daylight saving time nonsense?
No, I think it was put into action for a reason. I think it serves its purpose, and you're a golfer. You said golfers really... How do you feel about it? You're a golfer.
I don't golf at 9 o'clock at night. I don't golf past noon, because then I start getting thirsty, and I have to replenish the fluids that I sweated out in the morning. And so when I get home at 5 or 5:30, I am not about to go golfing again. Did I answer your question?
But you have to, think of...
I think it adds a little bit more time during the holiday season that's coming up now for lights to be seen, because it gets darker earlier, and then in the morning kind of helps things out because it stays, it gets light a little earlier.
Well, right now the school bus goes past my house at 10 minutes to 7, and it's dark until 20 after 7. So that'll help. You don't want kids going to school in the dark.
Yep.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's going to help that aspect of it.
And so then they get out of school at, say, 3 o'clock, so you don't want them to go home from school in the dark. Although in my case, detentions didn't get to 4:30, so I didn't get home from... of course, then I was playing... then there was basketball practice and practice that lasted to the dark. So, I mean, I think... there's a town in Indiana, in some parts of Indiana. One town, half the town is on daylight saving, the other town, a part of the town is not.
Well, no, it's 2 separate time zones.
Oh, two. Yeah, that's
the dividing line is right down the middle of the state.
So what time zone is Waterford in? No.
We're in the extra special central time zone.
Extra special central zone. All right. Did you?
No, you said about the kids being in the dark. In my scholastic history, sometimes when I was in the classroom, I felt like I was in the dark. So,
yeah, welcome to my world. All right, Dennis. So maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Looking forward to Veterans Day over there.
Oh, that's right. What hello? I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll be there, and I think Woody's giving free stew at lunchtime.
Very good.
And,
very good.
Bring your gas X, because stew gives me gas. Because everything gives me gas. Anyway, thanks, Dennis.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
All right. Anyway, this is written in our home office at Amen Corner on the deck at the Boathouse Pub and Eddie, where gray hairs matter, where Elmo just gets his fingers just all flying. This week's top 10 thought-provoking category. Should I take this call? I don't want to let calls.
No, you'll be fine.
All right. These are the top 10 things Kenosans will do with the extra hour after turning their clocks back. Number 10, able to ride the trolley to nowhere and back 4 more times. Number 9, great opportunity to have an additional hour for stalking. Number 8, allows an extra 60 minutes for the super glue to dry. Number 7, fall back, spring forward. Kenoshans are still trying to figure out whether to use paper or plastic. Number 6, checkout time at Barter Manor extended to permit guests to memorize their Miranda rights. Number 5, motivates people to throw more crap into the Lincoln Park Lagoon. Number 4, gives an ad hoc committee an extra time to screw up the school district's dress code. There you go, Wacky Wayne.
Yeah.
Number 3, serves as a reminder to change the batteries in your leg monitors. Number 2, creates more time for Governor Walker to approve our new casino. Oh, that sounds good. And the number 1 thing Kenoshans will do with the extra hour after changing their clocks back? Absolutely nothing, because no one gives a rat's ass.
You know, Scott, there is one advantage to that, though. There's an extra hour of bar time tonight.
I don't participate in that.
Yeah, you're not out that late.
Yeah. I don't. At 2 o'clock. In fact, that's a good point, because at 2 o'clock, technically, it goes back to 1. So you do. This is what we want: is another more drunks out on the highway. And I certainly don't condone that. You know, if these people are calling in, if it comes up private or undeliverable, or whatever, we ain't
unavailable.
Unavailable. Yeah. And so we were talking. Oh, I better read this ad for KRS Painting. I forgot to ask her. Maybe I didn't. We got cut off. She's up for re-election again in 18.
Yeah, every 2 years,
every
2-year terms. Yep.
Boy,
Senate's for the.
Did she run opposed the last couple times?
I think she did. You know, that's the Joe Andrea secret of running for politics: run unopposed for 20 years.
That's right.
And of course, Wirch has to go every 4 years. Onstad has to go every 2, and I think Barca has to go 2.
2. Yeah. Assembly is 2 years. Senate is 4.
And so you got Bob Wirch out there 4 years in a row at every spaghetti dinner.
Oh yeah.
You know, hawking the crowds and fish fries, and you gotta love him. He's a good guy, and
we're still working on plans for the world's largest meatball too.
We are. Is these the same plans that we have for bringing the weather bunnies in here?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We're on a 4-year plan.
Every 4 years we'll bring one in. You know, last week was a Halloween, and I think there's a big movement, or there might be. For 4 years. We went from Sunday afternoons, which we had for a good number of years, and to because the purists want to have Halloween on that night, and it appears that there might be a movement to go back to Sundays. I know Pleasant Prairie and Summers have Halloween on Sundays.
Yeah.
It works out a whole lot better for the parents and the kids. It's safer, and it's daylight, and
Mm-hmm.
Yes, do we have one?
No.
None of us. Okay.
No.
So if you have an opinion on whether you think we should go back to having Halloween on a Sunday from, what did we go, noon to 4, or was it 1 to 4, something like that? Yeah, you don't want to come up close next to my church service.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't get out of church still. I don't get going to church. Well, you have, this is a community, Kenosha, that has the parade on the last deal on 4th of July, so you can easily put Halloween on a bye week for the Packers. And if you have a question on that, 262-694-1050, and if you think we should abolish daylight saving time, there's some pros and cons. I guess you could save energy, and it's nice when you have the spring, and it stays lighter till 8 o'clock, 8:30. And of course, in the summertime, in June, May, it's light at 5:30.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just as it gets depressing here. For this next 6 weeks, when 4:30, and yes, so the Christmas tree lights look good.
Right.
By the way, I don't at Barter Manor. I'm not going to decorate outside.
You're not decorating outside?
No,
why not?
My neighbors are out there, and he's putting all these fancy things. I says, "What you put up in November, you got to take down in January." He says, "Heck, no, I leave it up till Easter."
Yeah.
I put a snowman on my porch, and I leave it there till March 1st as a reference for my clients to come over for tax time. And then my neighbors make me take the snowman down in March, because every time it snows after that, me and the snowman get blamed, so I put the Easter bunny out there. I should put, I should, Ronnie. I should put the Easter bunny out there come next week. See if anybody notices. Hey, what's the dumb rabbit doing here? Hey, this President Clinton, not President Clinton.
No.
President, what's the guy's name? Trump.
Trump. Yeah.
His Twitter account was offline for about 11 minutes the other day, and I got a zinger for Twitter. I'll save that for later. But can you imagine this guy? And she accidentally hit the wrong button, and
accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, and her last day of work.
She's walking out the door.
Yeah, she's walking out the door. Oh, I didn't know how that happened.
Right.
And then you also had.
So for 11 minutes, the president was silent.
Yeah, you know what they should give. Of course, when I get to the high five zingers and doofuses, they shouldn't have fired her. They should give her a medal.
Right.
And she'll probably be the next CEO at Fox or
Equifax.
Equifax.
Yeah.
And this guy is a farmer in Scotland, and he's got this new concept. You know, he figures out how his soil is going to be good. He buries underpants, in the soil for 2 months. And if I get this right, Elmo.
This is actually the government there is suggesting this, the Department of Agriculture or whatever.
To do this on purpose, not just as a test.
Test your soil.
I
wonder if Shirley does that with her.
According to the experts, sterile and lifeless soil will keep underwear intact, but organically thriving soil will eat away the briefs, nothing but the elastic band. So if you bury your undies,
your tidy whities,
and 2 months later, it's also left the elastic band. Then you're good to go to put in a nice crop.
You got good soil in her.
So this is gonna, this is riveting radio when you get to this. This is gonna put the question of boxers or briefs.
Right.
I mean, that could be the somebody's theme song or boxers and briefs. Do we have a theme song with boxers and briefs? Probably
boxers and briefs. No, I don't think we've invested in that theme song yet.
So this guy here, I don't know what's significant about his two daughters standing behind him. He's on the farm. The theory behind the test is that cotton will be devoured by the microbes and bacteria in the cell. So the better you have, so the more you have. I didn't quite understand. It's the first time I ever heard this concept. If any of our listeners out there, and
if their number would come up available,
have some information regarding, which maybe a city council could make this an ordinance. And people like Shirley will have to start putting underwear in their backyard and have a permit before she starts, growing these fat boys in her garage. Boxers or briefs. And if you're a cattle farmer, boy, this will bring a whole new meaning to if you have 8-ounce fillets. No more 4-ounce fillets.
No more 4-ounce fillets.
No, you're gonna grow the biggest, fattest cow. And you get to the state fair and the county fair. I can just see it now with the blue ribbon, and then put a pair of elastic shorts around this little kid, this 14-year-old that groomed this kid to take to the slaughterhouse. That always amazed me. You got this 14-year-old kid that grooms this cow for a couple of years and feeds it specially herbs and spices, and just to take him to the slaughterhouse to make $3,000-4,000. Now, see, there's the question Irish Ruth should be calling in. That's discrimination.
Right.
That's the agriculture business, though.
Just like we discriminate against people who come up unavailable.
Hey, speaking of riveting radio, you almost forgot. So, no, we got the report on Captain Mike's colonoscopy.
Oh, did you? Did he bring pictures?
They were being developed.
I bet.
He's in the clear. Everything is just fine. So,
and
good to know.
One of the things that came up in the pictures, the doctor, they found his class ring. They know where that is now. But he didn't want to be done. He's got this kind of like a photo album, pictorial.
Yeah.
Pictorial, is that the right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to bring that in. I haven't seen it because it.
Not as big as Mike Bjorn's.
No, I mean that was a 45-pager. That was a 40. No.
What? No.
But
the photo album.
Captain Mike's going to be with us a long time, I hope.
One can only hope.
Now that he's an Uber driver.
Right. Well, I've got to imagine that he's getting ready to go back down to Mexico soon, isn't he?
Yeah, not till after the first year. He goes,
February.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's got to wean his liver out for another few months.
Okay.
Before we go to what, Ronnie?
Would you jump in the car with Captain Mike?
Well, I said that yesterday when he comes hobbling in with that that hat that what's his name used to wear on no, not Gilligan, but Caddyshack. Bill Murray. You know, that kind of...
Carl,
yeah. And the guy's hobbling along there, and he's got a sippy cup of water with a lemon in it. And you're my driver? I hope we're not going to go very far here, but he likes it and keeps him out of trouble and keeps him out of the bar. So is this it?
We'll give it a whirl.
All right. Good morning on Kenosha today.
Hi, Scotty.
there you go.
Your ears are burning.
Yeah, I can't find my pictures. I think Mike Muir maybe stole them because mine look better than his or something. I don't know.
Hey, I heard you on the very fine Lenny Palmer show the other day describing what capital punishment should be. You want to enlighten us before we go to the break?
Well, you know, these terrorists, these radical Islam people, it seems like they think they're going to get rewarded for killing everybody, and then they want to die. But if you spray them or somehow dunk them in pig entrails, there's no reward. So maybe they'll give up killing people. I was proposing, you know, it was like, what should we kill that guy or not, or put him to death? And I says, get big gallows over a big vat of pig entrails and put ropes under his arms and around his neck and dip him in there. Let him gurgle down below a little bit, but don't kill him. Then yank him up by his head, cut the ropes off his arms, and let him hang. And then when he's dead, you know, twitching with all that nice fancy stuff on him, you know, the pig entrails, then you cut the rope and you let the guy in there and you film it. But then all them terrorists will see that. They go, I don't want to go killing anybody because I ain't going to get all my virgins and stuff.
Mike, I got a question. Having heard you say that, are you still under anesthetic?
Yes, I am.
I mean, are you out of that? Because I've never heard anything described quite that in detail. You could just how about this we were talking about last? You know, when they go to execute a guy and they put the needle in him.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they put the swab his thing and without rubbing alcohol? And so they put a good needle in him.
Right.
And then the other one was some judge legitimately the guy was going to be executed, and I don't know if they were going to firing squad or the needle. And you remember what that was, Mike?
Yeah, they were worried about an infection, so they put him to the hospital first before they could get him out and kill him.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, it's a great system. So you got
the world, man.
Well, you got some great ideas, and I think you should.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I think you should be sharing these and running for some kind of office and bringing these. You know, you could be the runner of a Gitmo. You could be the guy down in Guantanamo
Get him
Bay.
a job with the NSA.
Yeah. You could be
like you got a dog catcher. Maybe you get like a ISIS catcher or something.
You could be delivering. I could see you being the warden of Guantanamo Bay because you have a Uber's license, so you don't have to go through that deal again. So,
how could we have a base on Cuba? I never quite understood that.
You got all the other answers figured out. You're a smart guy.
I'll think about that. We get up here and I got to think here. So
maybe we'll see you at the conference this afternoon.
I might stop by and say hi. Sure.
Are you working this afternoon?
I got to go to Chicago. I was best man at my friend's wedding is the CEO for a major Fortune 500 company. There's going to be all these fancy people at Chicago. And I don't fit in anymore.
Then why are you going down there?
He's my best friend. He lost his wife. I was best man at his wedding. And
well, how many years ago was that?
Oh, golly. 50.
Well, you were somebody's best man?
Yes, yeah.
Well, God love you.
Yeah.
We don't. Hey, and get your pictures ready because we got a lot of people that want to look at those.
Yeah, I suppose you want the color.
Oh, you're not gonna. Who has Gillespie pictures brought in black and white?
We want the artsy black and white ones, Mike. Come on now.
We're gonna put them on display down at the museum.
Right.
I get like an eyeball or something. Yeah, the little trick photography.
We're gonna have one. We're gonna have one of these sculpture guys. We're gonna make a sculpture of it and put it down there along in the Harbor Park.
Finally, something's making sense. I like it. Okay, look, I gotta go.
Yeah, I can see that. All right.
I do really have to go.
Okay.
See you, Mike.
Right. Yeah, well, I think we. Anyway, we got.
And then we gotta go.
Then we gotta
2
go.
minutes, and we'll be back.
Get out
on the home stretch. If you just joined us, this is the November 4th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live and streaming worldwide here on AM 1050 WIP. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. This morning's cast of characters, Elmo Schneider, and from the galaxy called Spiderdome, where everybody drives their van sideways. Our video coordinator, Wrong Way Spider Ronnie.
Yeah.
I think I asked you where you parked your driveway. Did you park sideways in this week, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Is this becoming standard? What does your wife say when she sees you park your...
I don't park it, I just back it up. I utilize the neighbor's driveway.
Utilize? Oh.
Yes. It makes it easier.
Along with our engineer, Wacky Wayne, who has fully recovered from the October roadkill season.
It was a near thing.
Stay strong, stay strong, little trooper.
Yeah, it'll be back around.
We're here each and every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until noon. Also, if you happen to miss our Saturday show, you can tune in to AM 1050 WLIP on Sunday at noon. Listen to the replay of this morning's broadcast. And don't forget to join the Kenosha Today Nation and like us on Facebook. The status of the Secret Word Challenge to win $25 gift certificate to Mike Bjorn's Clothing here in downtown Kenosha has not been won. And he offers the largest selection of men's suits in all of southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. You can find him on Facebook or call him at 262-652-0648. One last time, a reminder that next week we will be broadcasting live from American Legion Post 21 in downtown Kenosha, which is now underneath there. It's called 58 Below, with our Shadow of Our Fathers Veterans Day salute. And we invite everyone to stop down and join us in person. Give us your tribute or salute someone who is either currently in the military or a past veteran. We're going to read them on the air.
Oh, yeah.
And so now, boys and girls, it's time for this week's edition of As the Brat Turns, High Five Singers and Doofuses. Spider, you're a little lax over there. You're busy over there doing whatever. What are you doing? No, we don't want to know.
Getting the paint off.
I see the
paying bills.
Getting the paint off my hands.
I see the curtains waffling over there. I'm not sure. Anyway, coming to us from the beer garden in the world-famous and legendary Brat Stop, located on the northwest corners of Highways 50 and I-94 here in Kenosha. Open at 8 a.m. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, serving breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between. For more information on what's going on at the Brat, call them at 262-857-2011 as the Brat turns like the sands in the hourglass in the days of our lives. This week's high five goes to Central High School for coming together and showing their support with a surprise assembly for sophomore Seth Bales, who is suffering from a rare disease which is longer than my skill level has to pronounce this thing. And while the Kenosha did feature this on the front page, reading this is certainly better than reading their main headline, "Should a Teen Be Tried for Murder as an Adult?" The students at Central High raised over $600 in support of the Ronald McDonald House campaign to add more rooms in Rochester, Minnesota. It's events like this that really warm my heart. The other headline I could care less about, and you can put that in the shredder. This week's zinger goes to a Twitter employee is alleged to have accidentally deactivated President Trump's Twitter account during her last day on the job. Apparently, the Twitter employee inadvertently hit the wrong button, and the president's account of 41 million was shut down for 11 minutes. Actually, the zinger should go directly to Twitter for firing the employee versus keeping her on staff and giving her a medal. But thank God the Trumpster was able to call Russian tech support, and they were able to put him back online.
That's right.
You gotta love this gal's creativity. Accidentally deleting a sitting president Twitter's account.
It does not happen accidentally.
Can a CEO president of Equifax be that far behind? This week's Doofus Award goes to that lying, no good for nothing campaign volunteering troublemaker George Papadopoulos for pleading guilty to the FBI for telling the Russians that he had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Who could have seen this coming? A campaign worker lying to the FBI? What is this world coming to? Dick Nixon's rolling over in his grave saying, what a bunch of amateurs. Geez, if you wanted dirt on Hillary Clinton, all you had to do was talk to her husband, Bill. The pictures that Bubba archived with the Queen of Mean, slow dancing with Vladimir Putin, are certainly worth a couple years in Leavenworth. That's what'll happen when we put Captain Mike in charge. And there you have it, folks, as the Brat turns for this Saturday, November 4th, 2017. You guys weren't real sure that I'm Scotty Barter, and I proved this message. You know, a couple weeks ago when we had the gals in here from the burlesque gals.
From the burlesque show, yeah.
And I got a text during that, and
I bet you did.
the message was I sounded like a pathetic, love-starved old man. And so I asked you guys what you thought.
Right.
And you guys must have been thinking it over because you didn't respond. The next text I go, see, even your own guys don't like you. So let me ask this one more question.
Okay.
One more time. Did I sound like a pathetic, love-starved old man?
Yes.
See, now there you chirp up right away.
See, I don't know. I think you were doing your best not to be that guy, but...
Have you washed that shoulder yet?
I haven't washed anything. That shirt's sitting in my...
All right.
I don't even have to put it on a hanger. It's just standing in my closet.
That's kind of scary. that make you want to stay in your house and lock your doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lock my doors. Hey, when we were talking to Samantha Kirkman before, we were talking about how the job market is growing here. And this message is directed toward all the business owners who are listening in the Kenosha Nation this morning. Because as more and more businesses are expanding here in southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, the demand for new employees is in an all-time high for all types of businesses. And what better way to seek new qualified hires than to take advantage of the very low Kenosha Today advertising rates and increase your ability to fill these positions? AM 1050 WLAP has approximately 50,000 listeners here on the Kenosha Today show, including both the live Saturday and the Sunday replay, reaching as far south as Arlington Heights, Illinois, west of Lake Geneva, and to the northern suburbs of Milwaukee. So if you're looking to fill a job, such as service types, truck drivers, general laborers, warehouse workers, to include any skilled job openings, call me, Scotty Barter, at 262-652-6767. I'll get all the information out to you. Again, that's 262-652-6767. Like she said, I think it's going to raise the minimum wage just by,
market forces.
Market forces.
That's it.
Yeah. And I better read these before then we get to our finale here, because we're going to have we're talking about the Russians influencing the elections here in the United States. We're going to have to influence this election because Putin's up for election coming up, apparently.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's got competition.
Oh boy, does he ever! We're going to get to her in a minute.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's this?
This is Paul from Racine.
Yes, Paul.
Hey, I just wanted to say, this show might be good for businesses, right? They advertise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not so good for sitting aldermen, huh? What the heck's happened to Anthony Kennedy?
I don't know. We call it.
Run him off.
Well, he's
free to call in anytime he wants.
I was just thinking of that, Paul. Today, I haven't heard from him in a couple months, and
yeah, I know. I think you run him off with all the taunting and insults. And,
well, those weren't insults. Those were trying to. Well, I guess you're right. Yes.
For politicians, a lot of it's all about image, right? You start presenting a poor image,
yeah,
you might get canned out of there.
We've tried to give him, tried to build up the act with him.
Yeah, exactly. You run them off.
Oh.
And then, you were reading that food. I don't know where that was from or whatever, that menu.
That's the Boathouse. Thanksgiving.
Okay. Sounded like a hot lunch menu when you were in school. But I'm sure it's a lot of good food, and I can guarantee you if you got an Anthony Kennedy there, boy.
This ain't going to be enough.
Hey, he'd clean that up, hey?
I wonder why he doesn't call in.
I did see him at in another restaurant one time, and he was. They had a special. It was at DG's.
Oh yeah, I remember.
What was that special? He was going. It was only. I think he was eating for free.
That's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, 2-for-1 deal. And I said, so who all these other 10 dinners?
Thursdays? Alderman eat for free?
Yeah, something like that. And I goes, who all these other 10 dinners for? And he goes, those would be mine. So
no, that was during a restaurant week one time.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a
thing.
taste tempter or something.
Yeah,
but
yep.
well, Anthony's a great guy. And,
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful guy. I miss him. I wish he'd call in, but I think you've scared him off.
Well, we got another caller
like
waiting.
I said, it's good for business, but maybe not necessarily good for sitting aldermen.
Well, they got to learn to take the heat or get out of the kitchen, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, Paul.
Well, maybe we'll hear from him.
Okay. Can only hope. All right, Paul.
See you, Paul. No.
No?
Unavailable.
All right, before I read these last... I better read Pete's place because this last topic might take some time. And I read the Boathouse. Pete, think that's appropriate? The hint for the secret word challenge? Or make one up? We got just a couple minutes left. Can you read it?
No, I got to read my glasses. What is the forecast?
Time change.
What does the forecast in the Kenosha Today show? Oh, that's not even right.
Where did you come up with this?
I don't know. What is the forecast? Oh, what is the forecast that the Kenosha Today show can be serious?
That makes no sense whatsoever.
I know. I was probably...
Disregard that, audience.
Yeah, just make up your own thing. I think what happened was I wrote this when I
After the
got
production
home.
meeting?
After a production meeting, and my intentions were good here, and I don't know what happened.
Derailed.
But anyway, derailed. All those calls from me?
No.
None.
Yeah.
And don't forget to turn your clocks back tonight, and it'll be getting back. Yeah. But otherwise, you could wake up in the morning and you could be all screwed up. And for those that are wearing leg monitors, make sure you change the batteries in there.
Mhm.
And I suppose I should be serious, is change the batteries in your
smoke detector.
Smoke detectors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, here's the big thing. The Russians, or Hillary Clinton or some of her group were accusing the Russians of meddling in the presidential race.
True.
Well, here's...
Kind of looking like it's the other way around now, so...